It's national meets regional. It's Sidewalks Entertainment, the long-running celebrity, music, and art series. Join us for a new path to arts and entertainment.
Well, our guest today is a Grammy Award-winning, multi-platinum singer-songwriter, actress, author, who just happens to own her own record label, Written Entertainment. I'd like to welcome Ashanti to Sidewalks. Hey, Ashanti, it's so great to have you with us today.
Oh, thank you so much. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. So I know that the arts have always really been a part of your life. I know that your mom is a dancer and your dad is a singer. Tell me a little bit about sort of, how you got your first big break.
I got my first big break, I guess, doing a local talent show when I was about 12 years old, and I actually won, and that gave my mom the incentive to kind of really go after a record deal. And it took a little while, but by the time I was 14, I was signed to Jive Records. And in between the time, I went through 2 or 3 failed record deals and finally got my big break in 2002 with Def Jam Records when my first album came out.
Well, your acting career has certainly kicked off. I think it started sort of out with Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Was acting kind of part of that sort of career path for you, or was it something that sort of came by accident?
I knew that I always wanted to try it. When I was in high school, I was in maskers and I did high school plays and things. So eventually, I definitely wanted to try it. And when the opportunities presented themselves, I said, hey, I want to take a crack at it. And I'm like, I love it. It's something, next to music that I have a passion for.
Right. Well, of course, you co-star in a Lifetime TV movie called Christmas in the City. Why don't you tell us about it?
Oh my gosh, the film is hilarious. It's a great Christmas story, and the best part for me is I get to play a character that I've never played before, Tiana, and she's like the Cruella de Vil, She's very stuck up and snooty and mean, and she has like a personal assistant that sprays Avion water around her. And she's mean to kids, so completely different for me, but I had a blast because, like I said, this is something that I've never played before, and she kind of, she brings a lot of weight to the film, I don't want to give too much away, but she causes a lot of trouble.
Oh, you know what? That doesn't surprise me. She sounds deliciously evil.
Exactly.
What was it like on set working with the rest of the cast?
Oh,
must have been pretty lighthearted.
It was so much fun. It was so weird because we shot in LA in was it July or August? It was summertime in LA, and there's like Christmas trees and snow and Santa Claus and fur coats, and we're like, it's 95 degrees outside. So it was a little bit weird, but the cast was phenomenal. I loved all the kids. We just we had a good vibe. It was short, and we had to cram. We really did. We got it all done. Sure. I think it was 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. And it was a lot, we were on set like, okay, you got your lines, okay, you know your lines, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, let's talk music. Now, as a songwriter, where do you sort of find your inspiration? Because I think songwriters sometimes they start with the music, sometimes they start with an idea or the lyrics. Where do you start with your songwriting process?
A little bit of both. When I'm in the studio, if I'm working with a producer, we'll listen to music and we'll talk about ideas. If I'm by myself, I may come up with a hook or an idea of something to say or like a topic to talk about, but everything comes from a real life experience. If it's something that I haven't gone through, maybe it's something that my sister has gone through or a family member or a friend, but everything that I write comes from a very sincere place. So it's different for me, sometimes it's whatever vibe you're in. Sometimes I'll write records in the car, like I'll be driving and I'll have a thought and I'm like, oh man, I know a lot of people must feel like this, and I'll have my little phone and I'll record the idea to it. So, I'm inspired by just sincerity and just being real.
Sure. Now, who are some of your musical influences?
Musical influences, I would say growing up, my dad played a lot of like old school R&B, which I love. Like Blue Magic is one of my favorite groups. Heat Wave, Stylistics, Delphonics, the Guy group called Guy, Mary J. Blige, Stevie Wonder. You know, I'm a melodic person, so I like to listen to melodies and, you know, like your cadence and how you deliver whatever it is that you're saying. So that kind of does it for me.
Now, does that sort of tie into sort of your record label? Does your record label sort of reflect your taste in music, or do you kind of have a wide staple of artists that you're trying to kind of bring on board?
Well, right now, I'm really focused on making sure that my project is successful before I bring other people on. But what I would like to do is to bring something different to the table. You know, nowadays, it's like you're here today, you're going tomorrow. So you have to bring something fresh and new and something that people can really like get into, you know. So I have an idea of the artist that I'm looking for, but it won't be for a while because I remember kind of being shelved. So I wouldn't want to do that to anyone else.
Ashanti, I thank you so much for being with us today on Sidewalks. It was such a pleasure to have you. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
For more full-length celebrity interviews, visit sidewalkstv.com.